Okay guys, welcome back. So it's back to our test series where we're comparing 2018 drivers versus 2019 drivers, trying to help you guys sort of decide whether an upgrade is worth worth looking at, or worth the kind of money that you'd be spending to upgrade, or whether you can maybe even go into the store and pick up a bit of a bargain.
It's very true.
And go in and get one of last year's premium drivers and see if you can save a few bucks on that.
I think it's the two kind of groups of people. One, they'll own, we're going to do M3 and M5 today. So if someone owns an M3, maybe they had it fit, they're happy with it. They want to know, should I upgrade? Is it worth my money? And then there's the other person looking for a new driver. They have a 5-year-old driver. Can I save $200-300 bucks, get an M3 instead and get similar performance?
Because I think a lot of people will look at last year's driver and go, okay, they had twist face, it had a lot of the same attributes.
True.
Okay, it doesn't have the sort of speed foam in there, but how valuable speed foam? You know, is that really, are you chasing speed versus accuracy and that type of thing? So maybe that's not what that player needs. So
true.
It's I think it's a pretty valid comparison.
Absolutely. I think we get these questions more often than not about drivers in terms of comparisons, because it's so much of a I'm standing at the cash register type situation. And the reality is, this is $700, $600 in Canada. Yeah. So I would imagine M3 must be down to $400 or $500 in the stores. I mean,
you can probably go online and pick up yourself a little bargain and that sort of thing. You know, I know when we clear out our stuff, you know, the stuff goes out at a fraction of the price that it once did, just because it's clear out products. So, you know, there's going to be people out there that are on different budgets and they want the best equipment for themselves. Everyone has that objective, for sure. But it's, you know, they might look at just trying to save themselves and allocate funds in different areas of the bag. So you know that buying last year's model might allow someone to get a driver and a 3-wood.
Exactly what I was just going to say.
Take the $700 and go, okay, well I can actually get a set of woods for that. I can get, you know, M3 driver, 3-wood and a hybrid.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see. Let's kind of hit a few. I mean, you guys can go through our kind of library. We've done a ton of testing on both of these heads so far. I'm very curious as to what we see with this today, and if we see a big difference. I mean, speed should be probably the difference, but whether we see that or not. You would expect
to see that, and we'll look at the spin profile and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, just to see if it's a different
or not.
because there's a different type of track now, and the kind of customization is a little bit different. So
okay,
all right, let's have a
M3
test.
first.
Yeah. All right, Matty, this will be interesting because M3 wasn't your best friend last year.
No, I didn't hit it well. Very low spin. I probably wasn't the #1 candidate for it.
Yeah.
I just never got along with it. Not the driver's fault. Obviously, it did really well in fittings, and lots of tour players played it.
I mean, we done very well with M3 last year.
I haven't hit it since my swing has kind of developed, so I'm optimistic.
Well, because our early testing of M5 showed that you needed less loft, so that's why I'm very curious as to what this does. So
we've got it at 9.5, neutral everything. Weights are pretty neutral as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Good start.
And you're just an absolute perfect example that if you make an adjustment to your technique and your dynamics, you know, change, that requires a refit.
It really does.
It does.
We get that question all the time, and I think hopefully, if you go back and look at what my swing looked like and what it looks like now, that gives people an idea of, because I think people get a bit over the top of the thinking, I changed my grip a bit, I need a refit. Yeah. Maybe not. But if you've made significant swing changes to your delivery, you may need to come back in and take a look.
And the thing for you with this is you are hitting up a little bit less, and you're delivering a fraction more loft.
Yeah.
So that's the two things for you last year that basically meant that M3 wasn't working well. It would just kind of fall out there for you. That was a gorgeous ball flight.
Happy with that, yeah. I think it was a little low in the face, but straight.
Yeah, hard to draw a straighter line than that. A little more toe side.
A little bit, yeah. Not bad, but it definitely snuck out there a shade.
Different flight too, definitely lower spin, little more left to right curve. Yeah, just it's sneaking out to the toe. Yeah, I mean, that's a more neutral delivery for you, only 3 up.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Four in to out and 3 up is around where Larry tries to sort of.
Yeah, that's good.
Try to offset the start line a little bit.
I'd say you might be calling up.
It's nice. Oh, go in.
Canada.
Come on. Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh. And if
Bryson.
the greenkeeper even moved the flag for you.
I saw that. I know.
It was off centre.
Don't think I didn't notice. Don't think I didn't notice. Yeah, it's not on the middle line.
Here onwards, wasn't it? Get in. Oh. Robbed.
That's hilarious. Pretty good. A little low heel maybe. Liked it though. It's that one that I don't feel like I make that bad of a swing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an off one. Interesting.
I would have expected it to be pulled, but not. Is that just the face getting close?
Strangely enough, Matty, no. I mean, it's open to the target line, so it should start left. And it actually doesn't. Actually starts right. So that's an odd one.
It's a bit weird, right? That's good. That is good. It's a shade open, but good.
All right, Matty. So definitely you're better with M3 than you were.
Yeah.
But it still has a little bit of that kind of sneaky, unpredictable one for you, where it can curve a lot. It can kind of dive out the air a little bit.
Anything high in the face and anything a little toe side for me definitely produces a bit of a nightmare shot.
Very strike dependent for you then.
Which, to be honest, is not great for me because I don't think I strike my driver all that consistently in the middle. I need a little bit of forgiveness in that part.
All right, Matty, switched over. What do you see when you go into this from the M3?
Cosmetically, I think they've done a better job this year.
You like it more?
Yeah.
I like it.
I like the flat finish. I like that they narrowed the silver section, less of the silver section this year.
Yeah.
No, it looks good. It looks really good.
Does the way the sort of silver top line sort of starts to intrude a little bit in the face, does that bother you with the face size or the face height?
I'm not a huge fan of it because it looks like it's more shallow.
Shallower face. A lot of people said that to me.
Yeah. And when you see it on TV, like the guy's hitting it, you're like, oh, is that a 3-wood? Like it looks really, really shallow.
Interesting.
But I'm assuming it doesn't really affect the ball too much.
Yeah. Right, so looking at those last numbers, I mean, we're probably expecting to see here interesting numbers for you. I mean, very strike induced on some of those spin rates, but a little bit on the spinnier side, so we're getting a little bit of downward deflection, a little bit of spin from the low strike. But I think if you're going to make that driver work, that's probably maybe one of the ways you will make it work. A more stable
part of the head, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
let's see this. That was nice.
Start. That's a lot like the first shot I hit with M3.
In all honesty, you wouldn't change a single thing about that.
No, it looked good.
You absolutely wouldn't.
I feel like that was lower spin, though.
That looked better launch, better spin, reasonably quick. I mean, very efficient. Toy?
No, I thought it was solid.
Was it good?
Yeah, just probably got a little bit closed, but.
That's the start line you need
to
make these drivers work.
That was probably a little higher in the face.
Yeah, you're spot on. A little bit more out of that one, Matty, than some of the other ones. That was a little more air time. You got the launch up, kept the spin down, managed the club face well enough. Pretty good.
What are you hearing in the sound?
I like it.
I don't think I don't think the sound has changed that much over M3, do you?
No, that's not too noticeable. I think the acoustics are very good on it.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that one because it was, I think, struck a bit low. Looked like it didn't spin up as much.
No, it definitely didn't. I mean, you know, in all fairness, we're talking about a slight loft change, but not much at all.
Yeah, half a degree.
There's really the tail of the tape. You said something early on when you were hitting M3 that you still didn't feel like it was forgiving enough for you.
No.
And people watching this will be like, if it's not forgiving enough for Matt, what chance have I got?
I mean, maybe if you're the person that tends to leave the face open as a miss rather than closed, maybe it is forgiving enough for you. But for me, I think I hit more right with that than I hit with my driver or other ones similar.
There's one low strike I'm going to take out of that, Matty. Let me just quickly have a look and see where that low one is, because I want to be as fair as I possibly can on strike. It kind of, if we can, we can overlay the strikes, we can be much more confident in the presentation of the difference between these two drivers.
Agreed. So if I get one more in the average, it's a little lower. That should do it, I guess.
You've been as efficient with both. That dynamic loft looks a little bit high with M3, but let me see if that's a constant. No. So that's two that were spiked up a little
funky
bit.
At the end. Okay.
That's fine. Now that we know that. Average strike on both. Your average was 4 millimeters low, and you pretty much hit this one on the equator of the club and slightly more toe. So, yeah, the strike is going to lend itself to a slightly higher launching, slightly lower spinning flight with the M5, which is fine.
It certainly doesn't seem to be quicker ball speed wise.
Not much in it. I would say you're a little bit. You retained the ball speed a little bit easier.
Okay. Yep. But if you look at an average, maybe not by much.
No. And I'll be honest, I've not seen too much this year with the story on the speed that we're seeing ball speeds that we've never seen before.
Because they were already at the top of the market.
Well, certainly the good strikes, but it's all the retention of ball speeds and off center hits, isn't it? Is what we're really talking about in this story. So, you know, if you know your strike pattern and you know you tend to be a little bit indifferent with that strike, then you know whether that's a technology that will work for you or not.
Well, certainly that last one being a bit low, that spin was managed quite nicely.
It was nice, wasn't it?
And the ball speed was as good as any that we've hit today. So
it definitely has surprised that you and I, though, that you can play a 9-degree version of this and be very comfortable in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it definitely feels pretty stable. It's a good one too.
Do we have a new contender in the?
Yeah, that's
for what's going in the bag.
Well, we'll have to try it out when we fit for sure.
That's got to be coming up pretty soon, no?
It does have to be coming up pretty soon. You're right.
I mean, you smoothed that one.
Got a ton out of it. You're right.
A sluggish 118, but nicely on 170 ball speed, 11 launch, 1900 spin. On the flat side, really, of what we would like for you. Let's see what the delivery was. Today, you've been about 4 up.
Yep.
It's good.
It is, yeah. Do you want to see one more just to get the
strike
similar?
Let's send us home with a big one.
Okay. Oh, a big one, he said.
Pretty good.
It's a pretty good swing, yeah.
Yeah. And
turned a hair, but it was good.
Any driver for me that doesn't overcook when you hit it, when you turn it into the right side of the fairway, it doesn't try to get away from you.
I think this is, to be fair, pretty anecdotal, and it's just obviously me today, but I really think this got away from me right easier than this.
Way easier.
There was a lot of good strikes with this where I kind of went, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the club, obviously, but I do think that you get away with it a bit more with this.
Yeah.
So is there a bit of a stability difference? I would say maybe.
Right.
Is there a difference in how far you're going to hit them? Probably not.
No.
Might be a little more forgiving for some people.
It's not the distance story, really, is it? It's not a case of expected yardage. Yardage through optimization, perhaps, through managing the launch conditions. Yes, absolutely. But I feel like that's all drivers nowadays.
It really is.
If you can manage the delivery characteristics of the player in order to create the right launch and spin and face angle relative to the path and the strike in the right sort of place, if you're managing all those variables, you're going to find yourself in a good driver.
True. Absolutely true.
Okay.
So in fairness, this was only half a degree less in loft.
Yep.
I just want to ask you if you think that those spin numbers are basically mostly due to strike. I think it was a bit lower spin when I hit it a bit lower in the head, but we're only going by 1 or 2 shots. But they were basically the same in almost every category, weren't they?
We talk to the windows of spin, don't we? So, the highest spin rate you had with M5 was 2300.
Yeah.
There was one that was a bit low, but you managed to face very well, and you never hit it very far offline.
Yeah. If you disable that one, what happens? That really low spinner?
It's going to sit right around 2100.
Okay, so it's still going to be a fair amount lower spin. Again, this is today's test.
This is today's
striking
test.
It probably 4 millimeters lower on the face on average.
Not much on as an average.
Not much.
For some reason today, M3 spun quite a lot for you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a higher spin driver.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not definitely the message that's coming across here. Or, to try and kind of lead people to that. The M4 is probably your slightly higher spin option. The weight is positioned back, much further back, and is fixed. So. Interesting.
Good. Yeah. I don't think there'd be any reason to switch if you're happy with your M3 right now. If you were struggling with it, if you're not hitting it straight, if you feel like your mishits are getting punished, I think this is worth a look. Is it worth $300 a look? You'd have to decide. Yeah. But it definitely seemed, at least from my experience, that it seemed to get away with the mishits a bit more.
Definitely. From the testing that I've done so far in the store, Matty, this is a very good driver for better players.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So generally someone with a little more speed.
A little bit more speed is doing better with
looking
M5.
at M5.
A little bit less speed, if you have the sort of TaylorMade persuasion, you would probably be more looking at M6.
M6 instead.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
All
right.
Okay, guys. Hopefully this is kind of giving you a little food for thought and seeing injected speed foam. Is that kind of a big difference to the speed? On the centre strikes, no, ball speed retention might be helpful.
Yep.
But there's definitely, for me, it looks like there's a bit of a stability story going on here.
I think so, yeah.
Nice and consistent on very similar strikes. So go out and test it, find out for yourself. Go to a demo day, go to a store somewhere where you can get on a quality launch monitor with a quality ball and a fitter who knows what they're talking about, and you can compare the two side by side.
Good stuff.
Excellent. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.